just say all the things. My name is Camille Sledge, and I'm a singer, a songwriter, a music artist, and a hip hop artist. And me and my husband founded the School of Hip Hop .net, okay, .net, School of Hip Hop in 2014. And I'm the lead singer of the Phoenix Afrobeat Orchestra, a social activism band here in the city of Phoenix. And I also sing lead vocals now with my mom in the group Sister Sledge. And we tour every year. And it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yes.
And we want to start out with, because you were on the Setlist Live. So thank you, first of all, for being part of that experience and allowing us to kind of capture. I think when people think of you, you know, typically on a bigger scale, they think of Sister Sledge, your aunts, your mom, and then POW, because you're lead singer of POW, but you allowed us to come in on a more personal level and hear your music. So what was that experience like for you to be on the Setlist Live? Focused on you and your music.
It was great. It was amazing. I was so happy to be there. First of all, thank you for having me be a part of it. I really enjoyed like that creative process of getting together with my bandmates and saying, hey guys, let's do something different, you know, something more intimate, something more, it was more saucy, sticky.
I like that.
Right? Mm-hmm. For lack of a better word.
Yeah, I got you. I don't.
Sticky makes sense to me, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. We'll be with you.
Yeah.
Like eating a hearty meal?
Yeah. Was
more.
You kind of.
Not like
that did not
like
land.
Thanksgiving, but maybe like sushi.
There you go.
Oh,
okay. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you say intimate, you think of like giving someone a hug or a kiss. You don't think about food. Well, maybe I do, but like you know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
If I did, it would be sushi.
Yeah.
That's an intimate. That's an
intimate.
I'm with you.
That's sexy right there. Sushi.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you
I'm
feel
with
me?
you. I got you.
We talk about food and music together.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's appropriate, because when I mentioned this concept to her, I was like, yeah, it's like, you know, tiny desk meets beach, one behind the music. She's like, it's like chef's table. And I was like, oh, she's like, oh no, I get it. Chef's table. Go watch Chef's Table.
I get it.
So this makes so much sense. She's like incorporating food into it.
It's like they made food sexy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how intimate you got with the artist on that Setlist Live. I liked it. I liked it.
Awesome.
That's all I can say. And I like doing that because usually, you know, when we're playing in front of a massive football stadium sized group of people. And we don't get to have those intimate moments a lot. But that's where it all started, right? Mm-hmm. In some kind of smoky club where you were like, hope everybody likes this song. My next bit, I wrote it, and nobody listens, and they're all talking and chatting it up in the back. But you got to find a way to get people to listen. You got to find a way to get people to eat the food that you're giving them.
That's dope. I want to go into this though, because, and I've been asking people this after they've come in. You kind of spoke on your family and how, you know, music, you come from a musical family. Can you take us back to like the beginning, like when you recognized that you personally had a love affair and relationship with music, you know, in the home, in the house, you know, what some of your earliest memories where you were like, man, I have a connection to this?
Man, it's almost not even there, because I don't remember not doing music. When I was growing up, my family would sing to say blessing over our food every day. We would sing our prayers to go to bed at night. We would sing different lessons that we learned in school. Like you have to learn a song or make up a song so you can remember your math equations or whatever, right? So we always use music to help us get things done, but for me, I made the decision, like a conscious decision, that I wanted to do it for myself when I was like in high school. Like I always loved it and wanted to do it as a kid, but I did not see myself filling these big, huge shoes that my mom and aunts filled, right? Like looking up to a very big, ship, and a boat is already taken sail, and you're like, I'm in this little sailboat, but I don't really think I'm gonna catch up to that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just do me over here. I never really made this conscious decision to even try until I started to look at myself as an individual, right? When you get a little bit older and you get a little bit, more wisdom about who you are, and you start to read books and get a little bit more radical about what you like and what you're passionate about, then you can make a decision about how you want to share those passions, how you want people to see you as a person or human being, and how you want to share who you are. And it's vulnerable, right? When you're a kid, you're like, I don't want nobody to hear this poem that I just wrote about this little boy. But when you finally do share one, and maybe somebody likes it, maybe it's just your best friend, but anybody likes it, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna share one more.
Yeah.
And it starts to get a little bit addictive, like if anybody responds at all, could anybody hear me out there? I'm just little old me. My mom and my aunts had a global stage at their fingertips. And I would see that and become very intimidated by it. And that might sound crazy because you guys only seen me on stage now.
Right. And you're not intimidated at all now.
No. You dominate.
Like now you got an energy of this is my
you own
stage.
This.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I love y'all. I still get jitters. I still get butterflies every single show. That's why I told you, my MD for PAL, Aldi Montefiore, he's a great MD, but he makes me nervous. And I literally stand right next to him at every single show, and he's like counting stuff off. I'm like, stop counting to me. Stop saying it. But I still have to go with it because everybody else in the band, to keep like 15 people on time and in order and tight like that, you have to be very vocal. And so he has to do his thing. And me, sometimes I'm just in my head, So that's a huge compliment. I'll take it. I thank you for that. And I still work and learn every day. I still consider myself a sponge and a student every day.
Well, one of the things I learned about you that was like shocking to me, which I loved, I'm going to bring it up, is that you're like, yeah, she was like, Anna, I'm not a singer. I'm a rapper. And I'm like, what did you just say? Because I've never heard you rap. But then there's a cipher back in like 2010 that William brings me back to, and like Apollo's in it. This is like, I'm like, oh my God, you're in a cipher with like, who else was in that cipher? This is like,
mad people were in that cipher.
Yeah, and I'm like, hold on, Camille's rapping. She's like, I was supposed to be a rapper.
That's how I grew up with four brothers.
I want to hear this because you're like, to everyone else, like you're a singer, and so talk to us about.
I don't think, still to this day, I don't really think that most of my stuff sounds like singing. Do you? I mean, you listen to a PAL album, that's rap to me. That is definitely hip hop.
I see what
that
you're
is
saying.
Chant Down Babylon. That's not
I see what you're
singing
saying.
in your most prettiest voice, trying to croon somebody. That's a power movement, activism on these streets. And the same thing about hip hop, like that's where I grew up with trying to rap battle all these dudes on my block so they wouldn't take me for granted as a female, And so you got to have bars. Like, you got to come back with some craziness. You got to say some stuff. You got to say some.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't come soft. You got to go correct. Even though my little poems was soft, I was still like, this is not what I'm about to say in this cipher. Not at all.
So I'm glad you're speaking on this because, and we kind of talked about your energy on stage.
Yeah.
And it's kind of making sense to me why when you're delivering your melodies, your energy is almost, it's got a lot of hip hop, confidence in it. So is that where that comes from? Like the hip hop bass?
Yeah. Most definitely. Like, I feel like I had to rap battle my husband to get my husband. You know what I mean?
Wait. Hold up.
Shout out to William.
Shout out to William, first off. That's my dude. Love William.
Philly, like, you cannot, you can't be coming to no cipher. You know what I mean? Like, William took me up in this, like, little basement studio with one of his friends. And his boy was like a complete, like, he was a rapper. Like, he's just what I do. This is all I do. He's sitting there on the board, and he like, this is me. This is my next song. You want to listen to my new song? Like, and all these songs that we heard, it's all him. And then William just brought me over there one day, and I was like, hey, what's up? And then he's like, so you want to sing on the hook? And I was like, who would tell me to sing on the hook? Because I'm a girl. You don't even know if I could sing. And he's gonna be like, can you sing on the hook? So I was like, yeah, I got something on the hook. And so I'm just gonna say I did my thing. I didn't necessarily have some pretty beautiful singing lyrics to sing on that hook, And I feel like they liked it, and we kept getting in the studio after that ever since. But I don't think they knew I had experience with rap battling my brothers down since day one. Now I will tell you right now, and I'll say this into the camera, I will eat up any MC that comes to try and test me. Please come for me. Ooh. My brothers, they all know me out on these streets. Yes.
Ooh. Say that. Say that.
That's hip hop.
Say that. Hey, that's come on, Camille. Let them know. That's what we hear. Let them know.
Like, I'm grown. Are you kidding? No.
Yeah.
Don't mumble to me.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying is very clear.
Yeah.
You're going to hear every single word.
There we go. Come on. So let's talk about did you have, I don't want to cut you off.
No, go.
Okay. So
you're going.
There was a clip, and we kind of talked about this just briefly. There was a clip you had posted, and you were in the studio working on some new stuff.
Yeah.
And it sounded like you was it was a few bars on that brief little clip.
Yeah.
So can we expect to see this side of you? And then when can we be expecting that? Okay, because I'm thinking we might have to double back on the set list and get some of this side, because
that's my favorite. I just have to say, I got talked into that last song we did on Set List Live. They talked me into it. Last Minute talked me into it too, because I didn't even like the song that we mashed up. Right? So Maroney's like, we already did this as a mashup, so we know it already. And I was like, all right. And usually I'm used to helping my musicians to feel comfortable, right? I said this to another friend of mine the other day. I was like, you know what? I never had an MD. Like, my mom has a great MD, but I've never had an MD for my own personal stuff. And I'm like, the first time I had an MD was on a cover gig that somebody hired the MD. Right? I'm the only singer on the gig, but there was all these musicians, and they hired this one guy as the MD. And I told that guy after the gig, I said, man, you really showed me what an MD is supposed to do. Like, I've had MDs for bands, big bands, but this is what an MD does. Oh my God. You mean to tell me I could just focus on the lyrics and on the music and on what I'm supposed to do, and somebody else will manage the band, the musicians? Like, go back to the one, go to the head, whatever, and I don't have to do that? Oh my God. And now I have Powell. Like I said, we have an amazing MD. I love him to death. He's like my brother. But before that, like, I was like, this is what's supposed to happen. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna sing, and I'm not gonna try to make y'all feel comfortable. I'm gonna do my part, and y'all got this, right? All right, good. All right, here we go. That's what an MD is there for. And so I had to learn that late in the game. Rap don't really have no MD. You have a DJ. It's not something that I just always knew coming up. So I had to learn that. And it was just by experience and by going out there and getting it. But yeah, I'm working on a next album right now. I'm finally completing it, actually. And we're mixing and mastering everything. And I want to say May. I always drop my albums in May. That was so funny. We filmed the Setlist Live in May.
Yeah.
I was born in May. I'm a May baby, so I just dropped my albums in May because I feel like this is a birth. Here's my child.
You're going back on tour on May?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I always be like, here's the baby. In May is like a special spring equinox for me in every way. So that I'm going to say May, but yeah, we're already in mix and mastering right now, so I feel like I'm ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Come on, give it up.
Yeah.
And
schedule.
This one, I don't have a name for the album yet. Maybe y'all can help me with it, but I'm just using colors to inform the feelings on the album. And this one is red. This one's red. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
But you're not going to tell us what feeling is in your connection to red?
There's a lot of feelings that are connected to red. So all the songs aren't the same, right? There's so many feelings that are connected to that root chakra.
It is the root.
That color. So if you guys Google red, what do you feel like? What emotions are connected to red? You'll find a lot.
Yeah.
There's emergency. There's love and compassion. There's fire. There's bloodshed.
Fire,
anger. There's a lot. There's a lot. And so, yeah, that's this one. This one's red. And we did, I tried to do some artwork for the album. I tried to do a photo shoot. Y'all, I hate photo shoots. I used to like them, but I hate them. I did it and I lost my voice, so I couldn't speak to anybody at the shoot that day. I was literally whispering over the music they were playing in the room, you know, right? I'm like, yeah, guys. And nobody could hear me or listen to me, so I just let it go. I just stopped talking. And then I didn't really get anything I wanted out of the shoot, right? It should have been more simple. To me, it should have been more simple. In the meantime, they're like adding more hair on. They're doing more makeup, painting on my face, doing all kinds of stuff. They just think that's what I want. And I was like, oh no, this is too much. It was awesome. It was an awesome team. But because I wasn't able to communicate to the team like, hey, this is cool, or that's what I would like.
Yeah.
Nobody necessarily got it right. And that's my fault. So I need a do-over. But I feel like the artwork could be even simpler than that. Like, I gave Carl
Sounds
a selfie.
like you need someone there too, speaking up on your shoots too.
Yeah.
Or somebody who has an artistic vision, you know? Like, I just could not talk. Like, I was like, my voice was really literally gone. And so it came out like that. The pictures all came out like that. And I was like, ah. So now I'm still I'm back a step. But I feel like that's not the least of my problems. I feel like just getting the music mixed and mastered and then getting it put out there and getting like putting together like a campaign, I'll push it, is still moving. So that's good.
And speaking of pushing, you know, music and, well, you're an educator yourself because you teach kids, especially like you're really focused on confidence and building up, right? Like you're always like, how do we build the confidence in children? So, you know, from an education component or just from inspiring another artist who might feel, or of artists of all kinds, right? But especially I think with like the live music component of things, like you are a performer through and through, but there are those artists who are, you know, have just stayed in the studio and maybe are nervous to go on stage, and really that's where you create that connection with your audience, right? It's like a whole different, you created an experience, and that's what you do every time you're on stage.
Oh,
I've
thank
seen
you.
you in tiny, intimate settings in a backyard, and you're like moving everyone through like a wave of emotions to like pow, coming and pow, and then your sister Sledge. So you know when like the lane is for each setting. What would you give to, an up and coming artist or an artist who's like, I have all this music, like how do I get it out there? What advice would you give them when they're performing live in front of an audience?
What I always tell my students at School of Hip Hop is to like find what your audience needs, right? If you say clap your hands and nobody's clapping, you got to find another way to get them engaged. If you say make some noise and nobody makes some noise, then you have to find another route. Like maybe this is going to be a more intimate audience, or maybe this is going to be bring one dancer up on stage, or maybe it's going to be let's take it back a step and look at who our audience is and why they came to this particular show or this particular event. Like what that backyard show, it was many of our community members that are friends with each other, that know each other, and community members that are all doing activism work and that have a wide range of music likes and taste and interests, right? So how do you connect all of those people? And I think that, to me, I saw a moment to speak to them. So I said a few things to try and feel it out, and I just said, okay, and this is what I got back. So then this is what I'm gonna reflect and give, right? I think everybody was there because they were friends and they all knew each other, and they were there to kind of sit close to each other, maybe even on a blanket, cuddle, cozy up, have a glass of wine, and sip on tea, be warm and cuddly. And so I just wanted to make sure they felt like they were getting a hug, like they were getting...
That is how it felt. You did that.
Thank you. I'm glad it worked. Who knows if it's gonna work?
So pretty much read the room.
Read the room.
Read the room.
Yeah, but read the room is so broad. Everybody says that. They're like, read the room.
Well, I think you got to be able to read the room, right? But then you also have to be able to allow and be vulnerable enough to, once you read the room, be able to determine what you need to bring to the room.
Yeah.
Instead of sticking to this
right.
like
Instead
one
of sticking
way
to
of the way you do
I'm
it,
gonna do
they're
this.
gonna like it this way.
Yeah, that's what I heard you saying, because people can read the room, but you still got to be humble enough to adjust to the room as well. Yeah.
It's not all about you. When it's not all about you and you make it about other people, then that's your room, right? You practice reading the room, quote unquote. I hate when people say quotes like that to me, because I'm always like, what does that mean? Like, in essence, what do you really mean? That could mean a million things.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But I've also had good mentors.
Yes,
I've also
you did. You had like the best.
I'm sure, right?
I've seen
Right.
it done, and I've
Right.
seen many a live show, and I've
Right.
seen it done. You guys would be surprised at some of the acts that I've seen live, the ones that worked and the ones that didn't work. You know what I mean? And I'm a very big live music advocate. Even though I love hip hop, most of the time hip hop is going to not be a live band and live instruments, but it might be 2 turntables and a mic. But I've seen really good rappers turn 2 turntables and a mic into a very, very engaging, intimate live show. And it made sense to me. It all clicks. Like, you're making sure the audience is getting what they came here for. Like, you're making sure the audience knows who you are, right? And that's what it's about. It's nice. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Well, thank you. This was amazing.
It's my pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
popping in and joining us.
Yo, but wait, before we end, this will be quick, I promise.
No, that's fine. You don't have to do that to me.
I wanted to ask you this question, yo,
Okay, ask.
because when I saw this picture, I was like, oh my God. You were with Prince, was it Prince Charles? Who was it?
Yeah,
Prince
and
Henry,
Prince Henry. Like
the Prince of England.
the Prince of, so,
and Tom Cruise.
and
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was in the
Tom
background
Cruise.
chilling.
This is like a week ago, right? A month ago.
Like,
Yeah, like last month.
so I was like, dang, like, do
Wait,
you,
who else is in that picture though?
well,
Dude, everybody, you guys, that was a dope.
but like, so my question is, like, because, like a lot of times, I know I'll speak for me, when I get in certain rooms, I'll be like, dang, how did I get here? Like how, like, you know, and we talked about a little bit on the panel. We talked about imposter syndrome, and we talked about all of those things, right?
Yeah.
So one is, when you're in those spaces, do you ever get those type of feelings? And then two, if you do, how do you shift your perspective to be like, I'm here? Because you in that photo, well, here's what I'm gonna tell you, you embodied the presence of, I'm supposed to be in this joint.
Oh, you know what? I don't get imposter syndrome. No, F that. I do not play around with that. You know what? You have to always remain humble and always remain grateful. So if you're in a room like that, you're still being yourself. I'm still being myself. I'm still, you know, feeling like I'm here because God put me here. And there's a reason that God put me here. So there is no imposter in here. You know what I mean? It's me. And it's always that you were supposed to be there on that day at that time, because you are who you are and you've been doing the work. And I think that staying humble and staying gracious is how you should live your life on an everyday basis. So there will never be that feeling of, oh snap, that's about to be the king of England. No, like then you don't look like you're being yourself. Then you look uncomfortable. Then you're, you know what I mean, feeling all those feelings. And you're in your own head doing that. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, click, 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 click.
Yeah,
like me, I'm like,
yeah.
What's up, Prince?
Yeah.
because you don't want to ever miss those moments. And now I remember those moments because we had talked. You know what I mean? I busted a few jokes with Tom Cruise. Like, I'm going to remember that forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I have pictures where I could tell my kids about it and we tell my grandkids.
Yeah.
Like, you know what happened this day?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what he said too. And guess what? And this is because it's always going to be a moment where you might not ever be there again. Right? There's always a point in time where you could be like, this may never, ever happen to anyone that I even know. Right? So why would I waste this moment being in my head? No.
That's great.
That's what Oswin said too. He was like, it's the moment, the moments, and like taking in those moments.
Yeah.
Exact, right?
Take them in. Enjoy. Enjoy.